Child, as we live. Yes. How you guys doing? This is
Hi, what's up?
Hey,
Happy Thanksgiving.
it was Thanksgiving Eve.
Well, listen, close enough.
um, if y'all don't mind, can I do my off camera?
I
Oh
do.
yeah.
I do.
Okay.
Oh, not you do mine.
No. My back. My back is hurting, so that's why.
Oh no, that's fine.
Your
Um,
back is hurting. No comment. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave that right there.
Please do.
I'm gonna just leave that
oh
right there.
no, we definitely understand it. I mean, it was a busy week this week, but anyway, um, this is the TDGS Live Panel. We're here to talk about Insecure episode 5. Okay.
Yes, season 5, episode 5. So we halfway through the finale season.
Yeah,
I
because
know.
it's like what, 5 more episodes left.
5 more episodes, yes, left.
So let's timeline it. So basically this episode was centered around Molly and her family. Her mother recently had got a stroke. And we see Molly at the hospital. Issa is there to comfort her and to help her out with things. And Nathan is running around and stuff like that, doing a little it was given very much dummy mission with that whole situation with that dog.
Lord, not Flavor Flav, child.
Right, and they didn't even know she had. Well, not that they didn't know, but she didn't even remember about the dog to begin with. A mess.
Right.
How that thing get loose? That, like, I'm like, child, not they gonna lose the dog. I already knew it was gonna happen. I'm like, oh, they got this dog out. It's gonna be
I
some
guess
little.
I was gonna say, I guess they just didn't have the leash. Like, when people don't have pets, I
Uh-huh.
know I've done this because I don't have a lot of pets and stuff like that. You're a little antsy about stuff, like making sure that you don't want the collar to be too tight because you're scared that you're gonna choke the dog and all that. So I feel like they just did not, secure the collar like they should have. That's how I feel about
Mhm.
it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that collar was off loose. I'm like, child, you better okay, because we. But it was able to find its way back. I don't know. I'm not trying to say that was filler, but like it was just I didn't know how I felt about that. Um, this episode was kind of short. It was like what, 30 minutes?
I think it was the same length though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it was the same length. It just.
It just
I
felt
feel
quicker.
like I feel like we're just meandering around. You know what I'm saying? In
Yeah,
no direction. We're just treading water, swimming in circles, instead of getting
into the
to
thing.
a destination.
Yeah. Well, one of the other parts, like I said, with the Issa and Molly's dog, we seen Lawrence at the end. I guess he was doing stuff with Canova, whatever you call her. Who's at the hospital with checking up on their child, possibly. We see Issa look at him, and it was like, okay, well, it looked like she was walking away. So I'm like, okay, yes, you're walking away. Then I seen the sneak peek for next episode. I'm like, girl, what?
But you know what I said, and I mean, I don't, not to jump too far ahead, but I
Yeah.
said in my review, I feel like that's going to be one of her dream sequences. I don't think she really did anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion. I think that's in her. That's going to be one of her in her mind if she had done kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't think she really said anything because I don't think so.
Mm.
But that's just me.
But I'm gonna go around the panel and just ask before we get into the details of the episode. What did you thought about it? Like overall, 1 to 5, 1 to 10. I meant.
If this were not the finale season and this was just a regular season, I would
Mhm.
probably give it a 7 or 8. I think they're giving us some really good development. We see Issa and Nathan. Well, again, not to get too deep into it, I'm gonna just say I would, if it were a non-finale season, I'm gonna give it a 7 or 8. But because this is halfway through the finale season, I'm gonna have to give it a 1 because I don't understand why we are introducing this serious and detailed of a storyline halfway through the finale season. But that's me. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I felt like, okay, so Molly's mom has been going through. I'm sorry, I forgot that.
I gave it a 3.
Mm.
I I gave it a 3, and I'm surprised Billy B went all the way down to a 1 because usually I'm the hard grader.
Yeah, you're usually a harder grader than me.
But I gave it a 3.
You give it a 3.
Mm-hmm.
If not a 3, I'll probably give that thing a 4. Like it had parts that I kind of felt was interesting. Like I like her and Nathan, their little interaction or whatever. But I don't know how long
Can
this is
we
gonna
start
last.
with Issa and Nathan? Because you started off the episode talking about how we want to take it slow and so forth when they were at the house before she found out about Molly's mom. And then he introducing himself as your boyfriend to your mother, and then you telling him I love you and all of this stuff. And I was like,
Huh?
and I've been saying from the beginning, this is a recipe for disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Like this whole relationship between Issa and Nathan is a train wreck waiting to happen.
It just seems awkward. Like I mean, I don't know. Just knowing Issa, it's like, how long is this gonna last? Are you gonna try to hop on to the next situation? Or like it, I just don't. But I did love their interaction. Their interaction was kind of cute. But like I said, I don't know how long it's gonna last. That whole situation where she called her mother, and like he like jumped on the FaceTime call, like, "Hey, how you doing?" or something like that. I'm like, okay. I mean, are they together? I mean, or did she say that, or was that said just to be, because some people like to, okay, yeah, we're together, we're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Well, I think that's why when she got off the phone, she said you ain't have to do that. Like I think that's how she took it as, well, that's how I took it. I took it as, you ain't really have to do that. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. So we're gonna. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Well, I guess after that, that's when I mean, it's just something about the episode just was so like it was so like we're going through the motions. You get what I'm saying? And it's like nothing really dramatic. Only thing that happened dramatically was we found out what was going on with Molly's mother. But like it just seems static. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought.
Again, I just think a lot. Again, not to speak for y'all, but I know for me, I'm just frustrated because I feel like there is no sense of urgency here. And what I don't want to see happen is in the last 2 episodes, you start cramming in a bunch of shit just to throw it in there to say, oh yeah, that's right, this is the end of the show. And that's what I don't want to see happen. And I feel like, see, the advantage of having a final season when you know it's your final season is that you can give the viewers what they want. Whether, you can tie up loose ends, you can bring back old characters, you can give us some nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they're not doing that. They're not giving us those opportunities for us. Like, it would have been cool at the family cookout when she went home if Dro had been there. Just as a cameo, just as a throwback, just as a, oh yeah, because we know this is the final season. Like, where is, I mean, again, not to open up the door with him and Molly again, but just as a throwback situation, like, oh, there go Dro. Oh, what's up? Something. I mean, I just feel like this episode again, like I said, if we didn't know this was the final season, oh, I'm here for that episode. I think it was a great episode.
Yeah.
But because it's the final season, I'm like, I'm confused about what's going on right now.
And I hear a lot of people talk about this on TikTok. A lot of my mutuals are saying that it's like this is really not a good season, and or starting to be not a good season because we're halfway through it. You would think in a 10 episode series, 10 episode season, there would be some kind of climax, or rising action.
We're halfway through, so we're supposed. I mean, was that last 5 minutes supposed to be it? Because that wasn't it.
Well, technically, the climax of is supposed to be toward the end. That's a misnomer. A lot of people think climaxes happen in the middle. It technically happens generally around the end. But I'm agreeing with you all totally because I don't even see consistency in the plot line or storyline. Like it's all over the place. It's just all over the place, and the dots aren't being connected. Like it's
Mhm.
just it's just a hodgepodge, a motley crew of just stuff.
Yeah.
And
And it's not even the good stuff. It's like the stuff with no meaning. It's like it's no like the reason why, there's I only had like 3 bullet points of stuff like, okay, Molly's mom had a stroke. Issa's helping her out. They lost the dog, and then at the end we see her meet or see Lawrence, and then it'll lead us to the next episode. But I'm just like, there's a lot of stuff that happened in between there, and that's why I kind of felt like it was a quicker episode, because there was just stuff that was just almost dead air to me. But like, I was just like, what are we doing here? Like, this is where, and you said this is the final season. This is where you can really experiment, because look, this is it. End strong. I mean, the whole thing with what else was going on in there?
Well, we started off the episode. We saw Molly getting her freak on. So, like, we saw
Okay,
old
yeah.
Molly getting her. Now, was that Nathan's friend from the cookout, or was that just another random dude?
I think that was a random dude.
yeah, it didn't look like the guy from the cookout.
I didn't think it looked like him
it.
either, but you know me, I'm not good with faces and names sometimes, so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't wrong. Okay. And I agree. I kind of want to revisit the whole Nathan Issa conversation at Nathan's house. I think we could tell by their conversation that this is a couple of weeks later, because they said something about our first date and then our second date. So this is technically their second date after they've decided they're going to start dating again. So we know that this is at least a week, maybe to a week and a half after the last episode, and that's cool. And I understand what y'all are saying about the whole, we said we was going to take it slow, but now you calling me your boyfriend and now you saying you love me. I think that's what people do when they fool themselves into thinking we're going to do it different this time. We're not going to go so fast this time, when in all reality, they want to get to the finish line. Like I say that all the time when I'm dating. Like, I don't want to do the whole get to know you thing. Hey, Abby, yeah. I want to get to the middle. Let's get to the middle where we Netflix and chilling and we can walk around in our socks and we don't have to worry about.
But that be the problem. But that be the problem. People don't want to do that. Get to know.
Oh, I agree.
Work.
It's.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Issa just, and I don't want to. I know I said she don't nobody want to do the work, but that's what it's given, and is that the message that you want to tell? You get what I'm saying? I mean, I know we're gonna figure out who she's going to pick at the end, but like, could we not make that this whole like the whole plot? You get what I'm saying? I don't know. It's still kind of weird. There was one other thing that I wanted to bring up, but now it lost me about that episode. But I'm sorry. Hold on. But like, I don't know where it's going. I really don't.
Molly went back to being regular Molly, which was so frustrating, because, and I talked about this on my review, you want to be, and really we know this term, like the helicopter parents we have in schools, where the doctor is trying to tell you what's going on. Now, mind you, notwithstanding the fact that they messed up who the mama was, which was a whole situation in itself. But I'm talking later on, where I don't know if that was the nurse or the doctor, the lady was telling them, well, this is what, and she was like, well, I saw this on WebMD and ... and you need to be, and the lady was like, hold on, boo. I'm the one with the degrees here in medicine. You need to slow your roll. Because if somebody came to Molly at her law firm and said, oh, well, I looked on LegalZoom and they told me that you should be ... and she gonna look at them like, let me do this, because this is what you're paying me to do. And I felt the same way. Like, the lady was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it was just so frustrating.
Oh, one other thing, and everything is coming to me now. They didn't let, or her family is not letting Molly know of things. I thought that was interesting, a good topic to talk about. Because, it seems like Molly always seemed in control of things when it comes to her family. The fact that they didn't tell her that her mother was, her mother was going through stuff behind, closed door. I guess they didn't want her to worry, but I was like, Okay, like that was a little weird.
It's not weird for me because my family does that. My mom
Mhm.
is good for, especially when I was in college. My mom was good for not telling me stuff. Like my godfather died, and my mother was like, "Well, it was midterms, so I was gonna tell you after midterms." I was like, "You wasn't gonna tell me my God?" Like, and it was like I found out through somebody else, and I was like, "Mom,
Mhm.
what the hell?" Well, it was midterms, and I didn't want you to be stressed out, and I wanted you to do well. So I could absolutely see a parent because like I said, my mom, and even to this, even now, I have to be like I will find out something, and like my mom will be like, "Oh yeah, well the doctor said such and such." What? My mom does it now.
Right.
So I can see that because for me, that is my experience with my parents. That my mama just don't be telling me stuff. And then she'll go from not telling me nothing at all to telling me something 5 times. She'll be like, "Well, I just want to make sure I told you because you say I'll never tell you nothing." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got this one. I got
Hmm.
it." So I can see what parents doing that to protect because Molly, remember, in her family's eyes, Molly has this high powered job and she's so busy and she's
Hmm.
work, 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 work. And so I could kind of see them saying, well, it was a slight stroke. I'm fine now. It don't even bothering her.
But they also know Molly be doing too much too.
That too.
And
Hmm.
That
that
too.
they're like, listen, we just don't have the energy for all that you be doing.
Now that's true too.
I
Like
see because
Molly,
she's like not saying she's the breadwinner of the family, but like I mean, she kind of is, but like she takes control sometimes, and maybe that could be the reason. But I thought it was a good dialogue between her and her family. Um, and then with her father and stuff like that. I mean, there was some funny moments too. It was like one of her, I think it was one of her aunts, was like, "Oh, my cough sounds like a little,"
right when she was talking to the nurse at the
right,
station or the doctor. Yeah.
Right.
We
uh-huh,
all had that family member. We all
uh
she could they about to eat. She talking about some I'm on the phone with Bertha. She want to have prayer. Like what?
it's not. Could we do prayer on over the phone? I'm
Can we
like,
do
oh,
prayer over the phone? Now I do think going back to what El Teddy just said, I do think we saw another example of Molly falling into old habits with her job. Why wouldn't she let them know what's going on? It's like because what it looks like is that you're slacking. You took a personal day when you have this major deliverable due, and I think everything changes when people know something that's serious.
mhm.
So when you just say, "Well, I took a personal day," there's a big difference between I took a personal day versus I'm at the hospital because my mama had a stroke and we don't know if she's going to live or not.
Yeah,
And
I
I
thought it was
think
weird.
her not,
Why
yeah,
didn't
I
she tell
think her
him?
not giving him that
Uh-huh.
because you could tell by his attitude he was sort of like, "You
Hmm.
fucking off." Whereas if I don't think I think I just don't understand. I didn't understand why she didn't. And then it was, I'll take care of it. Okay, fine. Girl, you don't even have your laptop with you at the hospital. What you talking about?
You know what I feel? I feel like she want to get fired.
Really?
I don't know. I just it's because it makes sense to be like my mother's in the hospital. She giving someone the details. Don't nobody owe anybody no explanation on why I'm taking off, of course. But I don't know. I just feel like Molly is just her head's not really in her job.
Well, yeah, he doesn't owe her. I mean, she doesn't owe him that. But I just think there's a difference when you call your boss or when you say you're taking a personal day versus
Mhm.
this is what's going on. Because again, if it were a regular day and nothing was going on, I don't think it would be an issue. But you have a major deliverable due.
Yeah.
And I think the difference in him saying because again, and then the other thing when he was like, "Hey, if you got something going on, XYZ can handle it." And it was like, "Nope, nope, nope, I got it." And I
Mhm.
think that's us seeing her fall back into old habits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, look, I think it's definitely in the future we're gonna see her struggle with her job. Whether it's true that she's trying to give her, because I've seen people that work and get tired of jobs, but they don't want to quit, so they just do things that makes people that makes the boss upset or something like that, or not show
Mm,
up or be late, or be like, oh yeah, I got it, but I don't think she's really going to get the work done. But it's
right.
like, we'll just see what happens in the course of the season with it when it comes to
I
this job.
feel like I feel like Molly and Issa, with all of the progress that they've made, are both slipping back into what they've always done. Issa with Nathan and Molly just with everything. And I could see them going back to being regular Issa and Molly, where they had this big blow up and they, how they do. Like I just see them regressing. After all of the progress we saw them make at the beginning of the season.
Like they're going back.
Well, I
Mm.
think,
Mm.
and that's kind. I'm with you, Elsa. That's kind of what I'm afraid of, is that we're going to see them regress, which again takes me back to our earlier comment or complaint. Don't take me back to something we have a major situation, unless that's where you're going to leave us.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to just bring us to that point and leave us at the place of Molly and Issa are back in this cycle, and this is just going to be their life. Like we're going to look at them in 40 years, and they're going to still be playing this whole cycle thing.
Mm-hmm.
um, but then it would piss me off because I feel like you brought me through all of this just to bring me right back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, we have a
Mm-hmm.
whole year of growth, and Molly listening, going to therapy, and Molly listening to meditation videos, and Issa, like, then just to bring us right back to the bullshit again.
Talk
And
about character
that's where you're
development.
going to leave us, because we do know that some series finales do some crazy shit. They jump off the
Uh-huh.
ledge. So I don't know if this is what Insecure is trying to do. Excuse me. I don't know if they're trying to take us left. You know what I'm saying? To leave us here. I don't know if that's what they're trying to do, but
I mean, I hope not. I mean, this, like I said, this is the first season where I had to like wait every week for a new episode, and every week, it's been like, okay, up, the bars is up, the bars go back down, the bars up, back
yeah,
down, like like, uh, it's that's what it's given. And another thing, and I know I said this in the last episode, where is Tiffany in Kelly?
yeah. Because I
Well,
found out
Kelly never
they
is
broke away.
around. We never really see a lot of Kelly. We see more Tiffany, unfortunately, than we do Kelly.
Uh-huh.
But and I know, and I've seen, well, in earlier seasons, Natasha Rothwell would talk about that. She is the head writer, and so a lot of what she doesn't want to be on screen as much because she's, she has that aspect of being the head writer. She wants to make sure that she's uh doing most of that. Kind of like I saw, if you ever watched the show The Office, Kaling, her and BJ Novak were the head writers on there, and they talked about they didn't like the seasons where they were on screen too much because they say it took away from the stuff that they wrote for other characters.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I know Kelly we don't see, but Tiffany, well, you know my thoughts on.
But again, I hear you. I hear your point on that. But taking that out of the equation and you're just looking at it from a friendship situation, I understand in the beginning, but by the end of the day, by the by the end of the day, nobody had called Kelly and Tiffany and said, "Hey, girl, hey,
This is going on. Like, my mom's in
Kelly,
the hospital.
Mama, yeah, like
Because I felt like in previous seasons they weren't always around, but they were around frequently. If you
But
get
that's just like when you see Issa and Molly at the doggone baby shower.
birthday
Not
party,
yet.
well, I mean, yeah.
the birthday party,
Birthday party, not baby shower.
I think
birthday.
maybe I want a episode dedicated to I keep on forgetting her name, to Kelly. Like I felt like did we ever get an episode with Kelly?
Yes, the first episode.
The first episode. The
She was
first
dead.
episode?
When she
You
was
mean
dead.
with the college? I mean, it was all of them. I mean, it was like a reunion type. Like everybody was, that's when everybody was there.
I
I mean,
mean, I think that's the most you gonna get in
yeah,
terms of
probably.
an episode dedicated to her.
I mean, I don't know. I just, I like the connection that Molly and Issa's having now because we didn't really get that. They were going through it. But it just seems a little overset. It could be a little oversaturated at sometimes. You get what I'm saying? I mean, the whole them switching their outfits and stuff like that. Like it was cute. It had a lot of cute moments. It just I needed the
And I felt like that was and I do feel like overall that was a great moment of um
Mm-hmm.
Issa being there for Molly.
Yeah.
Like just what do you need from me? Like how what you need me to do, girl? I got you. Okay, we're gonna switch outfits. I'm gonna be in the thought body dress. I'm gonna be in the fuck.
Uh-huh.
You know I'm gonna walk through. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and get you a change of clothes, and I'm gonna go. I felt like that was cool. That was, and again, I feel like that was them showing us where they've come to, that
Right.
they've really gotten to a really, really, really good place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know, just overall, just
I mean, I felt like it's starting to look like this every time. Like the sneak peek of the next episode has always seemed like, oh wow, I can't. Okay, this look like it's picking up.
It's a little late to be picking up. I mean, we're in the middle of the season. We should be full throttle,
In okay,
heavy on the drop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like,
I'm not saying
man,
someone need to die, but I mean, hell,
no, please don't. I don't even want none of that. Like, I don't know.
I mean, not that, but I'm just saying, like, because I ain't gonna lie, I forgot what Molly's mom looked like. So when they had that little gag in the beginning where they went to someone else's room,
I ain't know. Yeah, me
I was
too.
like,
I ain't
oh
know that
my
wasn't her mom.
oh, I knew that wasn't the mama. I knew immediately. I was like, oh, that's not her.
I was like, oh snap. But then it was it was a joke. I was like, okay, all right, well, I mean, it is weird too seeing like jokes going around when I get it, if you're not laughing, you're crying. I just wanted it to be a little serious. I don't know. I mean, when people have strokes in my family, it is some drama. Okay, it is some young and the restless in that damn hospital waiting room.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it was. I mean, I did get the seriousness in the beginning because when they first got to that waiting room, and you was looking like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and they were very serious. I don't think it got lightened up until Issa came.
Yeah.
And even every time we got to the hospital, it was still like real, like serious. Because when her daddy had to tell her, yes, she did have a stroke before, and you saw Molly's whole face crumble. Like, wait, what?
Well, I'm gonna say this, and maybe my family is just crazy as hell. But I mean, I'm not saying that we don't have serious moments, but we definitely have moments of, because it's that nervous energy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't know.
Oh, we always laugh and listen. My family can't keep it together for nothing. We be at funerals and stuff like that. People cracking jokes and
I
laughing in the
mean,
middle.
we absolutely have been at funerals acting a fool. Like we absolutely
Uh-huh.
like that. Like my cousin, like it's probably not a good idea for us to sit next to each other at nobody's funeral.
Child, because if somebody starts singing, I'm like, oh Lord. And they don't.
Listen.
It was one time I was at one of my great aunt's funerals. Child, somebody was singing and it wasn't giving what it was supposed to have gave. I tried my it took everything in me to be like, ooh, child. No, but every family's different. I get it. But I don't know. I just thought it'd be a little bit more serious than expected. Is there anything, because I was gonna get right into her meeting up with or seeing Lawrence. Was there anything else in between? I mean, I'm trying to go back to the episode. I think we done covered everything.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot to kind of
Be like, oh wow.
right. I mean,
Like not like the last episode, because everybody was at the beach and they was here and then they was there and it's
yeah.
And even with like the stuff, like even if like with the Nathan, with them talking and stuff again, I think because I'm just not here for the Nathan Issa hookup, and I get it. I accept that. I accept that I'm not fully on board with the Issa Nathan hookup. But I'm with you. Like even when her mom called and it was the whole her boyfriend thing, I'm like, what are we doing? Like y'all said y'all taking it slow, but y'all are clearly not. Like you are clearly doing the exact opposite of what y'all said. And I know we already touched on this, but it's just like I just see this turning into a big. Here's what I don't want to see. And I know everything can't be a Harlequin romance. But what I don't want is for you to hurt Nathan in this process of the fact that you still in love with Lawrence's ass. Like you still in love with Lawrence. You know you are not over Lawrence. And I think that you had just this, because I'm still convinced. I know we haven't seen it, and even if we never see it, in my mind, this is what happened. I'm still convinced that night she started crying. I'm still convinced that she had just seen that was after the baby shower. I mean, the
Okay.
birthday party. And I know we didn't see that yet, and maybe not, but in my mind or whatever,
Mhm.
because the whole I thought I was ready to me is connected directly back at Lawrence. I thought I was ready,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
and the way they did it at towards the end where she seen him walk by and I'm like, okay, come on, go ahead, keep walking, keep walking. He's seen you, keep walking.
Right.
She
Oh my
kept
God.
walking, and then we seen the next episode, a sneak peek of the next episode. She came back. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Ugh.
It, I, if I was Lawrence, I would have flipped her the bird.
Ooh, now.
I'm
Why?
telling you.
He didn't do nothing wrong.
No, be, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Issa to me, I don't know. Y'all know I'm Team Lawrence. I'm Lawrence Hive to the bitter end,
Okay.
and I can see Issa stringing this along and going and trying to make it a whole thing where now her toxic ass goes over there and sucks all of the energy out of the room. It's just she's exhausting at this point. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm Lawrence, I see her and with I would see if she would come over there. Baby, at the moment that she made it halfway down that hallway, uh-uh. Go ahead and turn around. We ain't
Mm-hmm.
even got that type of energy to do with you today.
We
We
ain't
don't
got
have it to do. Sorry.
no, honestly, because it's just it's the back and forth for me.
Right.
We've
Like I
seen you.
got this kind of energy. And maybe it's the Capricorn in me, but baby, once it is over, okay, that's it. We done. I'm not gonna keep letting you back in my space over and over and over and over. You're not gonna keep yanking me like a yo-yo back and forth, up and down, up and down. No, ma'am. No, God. I can't.
Yeah, and I can't stand when shows do that because it's like, oh my god, who's gonna be who? Like I'm watching more of Sex Education. I'm on season 3, and I feel like they're doing that with the characters on there too. Like it's like going, y'all writers need
Oh,
to
you
pick
on
the
season
next.
3? So you must be talking about Eric. Child.
Now, no, I was actually talking about Otis and him going back with Maeve and then going with this girl
Oh,
and that
oh,
girl. I'm
child.
like, you need to pick which one. I have my separate issues with Eric, and that whole situation has nothing to do with Eric. I love that character, but the way he is written in that show, and let me do my little. I digress, but I don't like the message that it shows. That you can be with it. You can if you stick with your DL man, they'll one day come out.
Hmm.
Honey, that's a fantasy.
Right.
He should have stayed with Raheem, but that's besides the point. We digress. Back to Insecure.
Exactly.
So we seen Lawrence, and we see that she goes back and says hi. I guess she went to see the baby or something like that. And I need Issa to get a grip if she's going to try to come back to Lawrence. I have an idea that's probably what's going to go down. I need her to properly end things with Nathan, because I feel like Nathan, not saying he's on his last straw, but she knows that he has issues up there, right?
Yeah. But the thing about it is, Nathan, why would you even entertain not Lisa, Issa again? That's why I say she's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Like she needs to formally break things off with Nathan before you want to try to sit there and go back to Lawrence. 'Cause I just feel like the second she finds out that her and Cadoba ain't really together, she'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, let's chat. Let's go out to dinner."
But Lawrence and Corkscrew wasn't together when she broke it off.
Right. I don't know. I
That's
think
what I'm
that her
saying
seeing
too.
them together makes her think that maybe they've gotten back together or whatever. I can understand that. And I could see where she would think that. I mean, I could see what she would think they got back together. But again, I don't know. I think this conversation I think is how indicative of how we really feel about this episode of this. I think all of us, because we were so high on the show, we love the show. It's one of our favorites. We were
Yes.
anticipating it coming back. We were sad to hear that it was ending, but we just knew they was gonna bring the pain and bring the funk. And I just feel like they're not. I love you, Issa Rae. I love everybody over to the Insecure. You have given me 4 good seasons of love and laughter. But it's missing something. I can't put my finger on it, y'all. But
And
it's
it
just
makes me
missing
think.
something.
It makes me think, did they know that this season that they were going to drop was going to be the last? Like,
Well, they knew it. That's what they announced it was the last season before they even started filming.
taping? Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this was your opportunity to like boom.
I mean, script
Like,
was done and
give it to
everything.
us.
So they knew before the script was done.
Yeah.
And
Well, let me not say before the script was done, but they knew before they were done filming. Because El Teddy, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they make that announcement when they announced when the season? They announced it was the final season.
Yeah, the final season was announced.
Because
I
matter of
don't
fact,
know
I know
if
that they. Go ahead.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know if they announced it, but I think they announced it like before. I know they announced it before the season started, but I think that they had already. Well, no.
They announced it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
they
tell you how I
announced it. I
remember.
think at the end of last season.
Right. I'm gonna tell you how I remember that they knew it was the final season because I follow a lot
Yeah,
of them
because
on
on their
Instagram,
Instagrams, they
and
kept
they were
talking
like,
about this
even
the
when they
last
went in,
one.
right, and when they went into their table reading for the first episode, they
Mhm.
were being all nostalgic about, oh, it's the first table reading for the final season. Oh, it's
Right.
the first
okay.
split for the final.
Yeah,
So they knew.
they
They
knew.
knew. Yeah.
So they knew. I mean, maybe if the script was already done at that point where knew it was the end. I mean, go back in there, like, spruce it up a
I don't
bit.
know.
Give it a little bit of
Well, they
drama.
should have. If they didn't, then they should have.
Like and Insecure has always been playful. Let's be clear, it's been a playful show, but usually when it's towards the end, we want to see something. We want to see, like, we want a little bit of action. Like, it's given too much. Hmm. I mean, I don't know what it needs. I'm not a screenwriter. I'm not a creator
I
in the.
feel like this. I feel like, and I'm gonna be mad, but I'm calling it now. I feel like it's just gonna end with no closure at all, and it's just gonna
I'm
end like
feeling
a
that
regular
too.
episode.
I'm starting to feel that too, El Teddy. I'm starting to feel like
Mhm.
they're just gonna give us. They're gonna leave us hanging. I do. I feel like they're gonna give us some old Seinfeld type finale where you be like,
Not
what?
Brandy. It's.
You know what I mean? Like I don't like that. I mean,
Mhm.
call it. It's. I mean, that's a personality thing. It's one thing when you don't know it's the finale, but when you know it's the finale, I feel like you owe it to your viewers to like you have given us 4 years of the Issa Lawrence saga.
Mhm.
Like El Teddy said, he's been Team Lawrence since season 1. Like you have given us 4 seasons of this. You owe it to us to either to let us know whether they end up together or not. And if they don't end up together, what you should have done, if you're not going to put Issa and Lawrence back together at the end of this, then this whole season should have been building up why they're with the people that they end up with, why it wasn't going to work, why they're not meant to be. You understand what I'm? As for me, that's what I need
You know what I
because
feel
you've
like?
given us this back
Yeah.
and forth for 4 years.
You know what I feel like? It should have, like, they should have just, like, and I know this might sound it might be a little cheesy. They should have been like, look, we about to get married, but we got the situation with Condola and all that. Like, she's still trying to, like, drama with that. And it builds up to the wedding at the end, at the last episode of the damn season. That would have been interesting.
I would have been here for that. I would have been here
Yeah.
for if, like, let's say at the beginning of that first episode,
Mhm.
I would have been here for at the beginning of that first episode, when Lawrence and Issa talk and they decided that they're gonna work through it, that she gonna
Mhm.
ride with him through the cotton candy situation, that they're gonna make it through. And this is the season we see them working through that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have been more vested in seeing that than seeing Issa get her company off the ground. Not that I don't want to see Issa get her shit together. I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
But again, I would have been. I'm with you. I would have been here with them. Her company can thrive, and she could be planning a wedding at the same
Yeah.
time. And they could have made it a whole year long. Like this is what
Yeah.
happens as the year, and like you said, at the end of that year, her company is thriving. Lawrence and Carisi could have worked their whole situation out, and then we could have got to the wedding at the end.
Could
And
have
it'd
been
be, I
blended
mean,
family.
yes, that might have been a little bit cheesy, but I think it would have made everybody happy.
Some kind of closure. Like, come on. I mean, yeah. And like you said, I think you said before we started recording, it's going to get to a point where it's like they're going to wait to the last 3 episodes to, like,
Right, and then
cram
just
everything
jam
in.
a bunch of shit in there.
And it's just gonna be like, what? They do this with movies, like franchise movies.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, you know what we want. Like again, it's one thing when you don't know it's the final season. Like if they didn't, like if HBO had canceled Insecure after they had already filmed this and then said, "Hey, so this is going to be the final season of Insecure. I hope you guys enjoy what we did for you." That would be different because then I'd be like, "Well, they didn't know."
But they knew.
But
well,
you knew.
Are they introducing like maybe a spinoff? Like, didn't they say something about?
I haven't heard anything about it. Have
I
y'all
ain't heard nothing about it either.
Issa got a whole nother situation going on. I think didn't she just sign a deal with Netflix or something like that? Like Issa got a whole other situation going on.
Oh, this is.
And I mean, that's not to say that there won't be a spinoff, but I haven't heard anything about a spinoff. And even with that, it's if you still got to close up the Issa storyline because a spinoff, then they become ancillary characters that we hardly ever see, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If Kelly, let's just say, for example, Kelly gets a spinoff, it's not like Issa Rae is going to be a regular on the show.
Right.
So you still need to tie this up for me.
I don't know what she's doing.
That's just
a lot of people are having these conversations. I see a lot of people talk about this on TikTok, a lot of film critics, stuff like that. They're saying what is going on when it comes to like, and I don't want to hammer at us, at our people and stuff like that, because let me say, Adam Sandler could be as basic as he wants to be and still make this amount of money, make box office and all this stuff. When it comes to black filmmakers, like the last season, it just seems like certain, we've seen that with Dear White People. Like a lot of people, I literally stopped watching that show mid last season, because I'm like, I can't with this singing. But like, it's like I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't want us to keep on like rehashing it and going over it.
Right.
But maybe things will change by the 6th episode. I think things are going to start picking up.
Listen. It's too many loose ends for you to try and wrap all up in a decent way in the half of a season. And you only got 30-minute episodes. You go just cramming it in at this point. I mean, there's just so much to tie up. Just so much. There isn't even enough time for you to legitimately give each character an episode at this point.
Yeah. I mean, apparently,
we got 5 episodes left. That's it. That's all. Yeah.
So it's like, we're going to get, Issa's going to confront Crenshaw, which I'm like, yes. Yeah. She need to pull up on him.
That's a needed episode. But honestly, I feel like they could have probably sliced some of that into this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand. Like I feel like they could have sliced. We still could have had the Nathan conversation, and Issa could have got her ass up and went home to her apartment, because she'd have said, "Well, I'll meet you for lunch, but I need to go have a conversation with Crenshaw." And while she was with Crenshaw, she could have gotten that phone call from Molly. Mm-hmm. And then you still get the Issa Molly moment. You still get everything else. But I feel, because again, we got to speed this up. Because remember, this is about a week to 2 weeks after after the cookout. Why you ain't gone to talk to that man yet? Like, I feel like that conversation was already.
And so you talk about this got to be at least 2 or 3 weeks after the whole.
Her and Nathan have had an opportunity to have 2 dates. And I mean, granted, they could have had 2 back-to-back dates. That's fine. So I'm saying it's at least a week later. It's at least a week later. You ain't talk. This man blasted you all over Twitter.
Right. This man got you with hashtags and stuff like that on social media. And even the bigger part is even introducing, that was even a brand new storyline, plot line that you're introducing in the middle of the final season. So now you leave it even more stuff that has to be, tied up and loose ends to tie up. And you don't need any more loose ends to tie up.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Agreed.
Like it's
I mean, because again, that's my business. You're a small business. You're a startup. I don't understand why you waited this long to check this man. Like El Teddy said, he's starting whole hashtags about you.
And my thing is, you a small business on the look. They said the whole thing. Remember when Demi Lovato was coming for that Froyo yogurt place or whatever? And a lot of her fans was giving them like 1 star. That was a private owned business like that. Yeah, I'd have been like, let me tell you something. You ain't messing up my damn company. Just because yeah. But we'll see what happens then. I feel like there was other montages that was happening as well. What else was going on in that sneak peek? I know we seen her talking to Lawrence.
Let me ask you guys this: where do you think that situation at the end? Because we did have that accelerated year, and then we had the Lawrence Condola situation. Do you feel like this is after Lawrence and Condola had the big fight, and he was like, "We gotta make this work," or do you think that was somewhere along the lines of? Because I couldn't tell by the size of the
this
baby.
timeline is crazy.
But the timeline is a little. So do y'all think this is after last week's or the week before last episode, whatever week that was? Shit, the episode with Lawrence and Condola where they were she done made me call her by her real name, canola oil, where it was after that, or do you think that's somewhere we're still somewhere in the mix?
I think it is after. I want to say it's after they reconcile.
What do you think, LT?
I'm with you. I'm so confused. But I think if I don't know, because like you said, that whole blow up that he had at the end with Corolla, I don't know, because I don't feel like she would be like, oh, okay, let's go down to the doctor together. You know what I'm saying? After that big blow. I'm so
She's also not bothered. She doesn't seem to be bothered by Issa, so you know.
Well, she didn't see Issa.
Right.
She didn't see
Issa.
She didn't see
I'm
Issa.
talking
Remember,
about how
she walked forward.
No, I'm talking about
the last we saw of Candy Corn with Lawrence was the big blow up where he basically, had to say, well, I'm going to see my child whether or not you want to. Basically said, I see you in court. So I don't know when this is, because they seem real, chummy at the hospital.
Well, no, remember he called her. Remember he almost died on the plane, and so he called and apologized. So that's the last we saw at that episode was him picking up the phone.
Oh yeah. He said we could work this out.
So we know that there was some sort of we know that there was a conversation. I think it's afterwards too, but again, I'm not 100% sure, but I do think it might be afterwards.
I don't know. This is really weird. I think that like we said before, the timeline is just off and it's starting to get confusing. But I'm always optimistic, and I see that we have 5 more episodes left, but I think also those 5 episodes it will hopefully we'll start to pick up some things. Things start to pick up. Okay, we get into some plot, please. Like I don't know. We see more of Kelly. We see more of Tiffany. Something. I mean, could we get an episode where they're in it again, or it's just them 3?
I mean, you can bring back
3 of them though. Like
maybe they'll kill Tiffany off, and that'll be like the big dramatic moment, and they're all at the funeral. And we have all of the people, and funerals bring out a whole lot of emotions and stuff. I think a lot of storylines get tied up that way.
You think that's how I'll save this season if somebody dies?
That's not going to happen. Nobody's killing Tiffany. That's not. Don't entertain him. Why do you entertain him? Don't entertain
But it would make sense. You could tie up a whole lot of stuff.
It would not make sense. It would not.
Why not?
I think it could. If somebody is to die, and I don't anticipate people dying.
Nobody's dying.
Let's be clear. But I'm gonna be a little bit more invested, or something. Maybe not they die, but something dramatic happens. Somebody gets something. I mean, something happens. Somebody gets hurt, or
my hatred for Amanda Seales notwithstanding, I'm just thinking, just in terms of just the writing aspect, if something like that, if Tiffany died, you know what I'm saying, and that left the what's the husband name? I can't remember the name. With the baby, you understand what I'm saying? That would be like a situation where It would bring everybody in one place at one time. It could have a lot of conversations that could happen at the wake, repast, funeral, and so forth and so on. I'm sure they could infuse comedy in with that. Remember, Candy Coated Raindrops knew Tiffany as well, right? Yeah. Oh no, I think Kelly introduced or whatever. But what I'm saying is it could bring everything and everybody together at one, dramatic scene and event. I'm just hoping and praying that it's Tiffany. That's all.
Or maybe something happens to Kelly, not particularly meaning that she's gonna die or that something happened.
Or maybe she really did die. I said that from the beginning of episode 1.
And I'm sorry, but I feel like Kelly is off this season. She's just she and I want to know more about that. I want to investigate, but they're not giving us her too much of her. But like I feel like when she was crying at that club, when she was crying at that little place that they was at the beach and stuff like that, like I was like, okay, I need to know what's going on over there. Like,
well, what's going on? Well, I get that. I get what's going on with Kelly. It's that whole like. Basically, she went back and everybody thought she died, and the best thing they could say about her was that she had a mean stinky leg. Like you start reevaluating shit. When people are like, because she said it in the car. She was like, "I'm more than just a comedian. Like I'm more than just a funny punchline." And I really do think she became sort of introspective about it. Like that whole.
How did we get there? That's what I want to know. I just like how we get to that point. What was she talking to? She's coming off a little bit more like Montreal, like when she was like, "Oh, my friends is living happily in abundance and stuff like that." I'm like, okay. That's okay. All right. Transition words. Like I want to know more about what's going on with these characters. And I know what y'all said, like she's the writer, so she probably doesn't want to be in it too much. But I'm not saying that it's not like you ever just watch something and it's like, okay, you're oversaturating the main character. Or the main two characters, Kamali and Issa, Mali, Issa. Like at this point, I'm like, are they gonna be dating? Because I've been had that theory.
Oh,
I remember that scene. What episode was that? 2, where they was in that bed together. And I was like, "What's about to happen here?"
I don't want to fear bait. I'm just saying, it's When they was in that bed, I was like, "Oh."
It was looking real lesbianic.
Oh, they both under the covers? Then no one is on the top and the other ones, or they got their own covers. Like, okay.
I don't know.
That would be interesting. Just give me something. I need some shock value. I need a little bit. Is it too much to ask for a little bit of shock value?
I'm telling you, if they let Tiffany die, that might save the day. Kill off Tiffany.
We're not killing. Oh God, we're not killing.
Or something just got to happen to them, like or something. Maybe not killing, dying. I don't want to see nobody die either. Look, I don't particularly like crying when it comes to finales on shows. I want to be a little choked up a little bit. You get what I'm saying?
I guess. So are we? I mean, are we looking forward to the rest of the season? What are we doing?
I'm optimistic. I mean, you never know. Things might change. I'm gonna continue to watch it. Because I don't normally stop watching shows especially at the end of the season.
No, I'm definitely not going to. It's no way I could drop it. I mean, no way I could drop it. Like I still love the show. Like I said, if this were a regular season, I wouldn't even have any complaints.
Yeah. Like if
this were a regular season, I would have no complaints
for a regular season. But like this is the finale. Like we got
But for the finale, I'm just side eyeing. That's all. If this were a regular season, I'd be good to go. Because I think I think a lot of what we're saying is what we need to see. We need to see Molly and Issa find their way back to each other. We need a conclusion to the Nathan storyline one way or the other. Either they're going to be together or they're not. I think it's cool that we're getting a little bit more background information about Nathan. But let me be clear. In this final season, I really don't give a damn. I mean, I feel like their time to give us this Nathan background. They had 2 seasons to do that.
2 seasons ago. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they had 2 seasons to give me this. This whole woe is me. My cousin put me out of the house because I was manic and coming in and out his house crazy.
At this point, I don't care.
He had 2 seasons to give me that.
Yeah.
don't care about your pretty eyes and your struggle beard and all of that stuff.
Not
Nice
your struggle
boy.
beard.
Not the struggle beard.
It
And I
is.
think
Look at
they
that
make
beard. It is
and
a struggle beard.
yeah, and another problem is they make us wait. You made us wait this entire time. I think because we ain't these seasons like years apart, like 2 or 3 years apart.
Well, but that's because of COVID, though.
No, but no, they always said. Now I've always before I started watching this show, they've always said it takes Issa a long time to come up with a new season.
But
Well,
it
no, she
normally,
does
but
take a year. It's normally a year.
It's a year.
but this was pushed back though, because
It was
we
pushed
were
back.
supposed
Yeah.
to get this season last summer.
Mm.
And they pushed it back. Now, before COVID, they didn't say this was the final season. They pushed it back, and then when they announced the new season was coming out, that's when they said it would be the final season. But prior to COVID, they never said it. So I'm wondering if, again, what
If
happened
this
during
script was
that?
made like a couple years ago.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, so
And they was like, "Oh well, we ain't changing it, so let's start."
maybe, child,
Mm.
maybe. I don't know. Well, I'm not dropping it. We're gonna finish it up. We're gonna conclude the season, honey, and
Yes.
the finale. And like I said, maybe next week we're gonna finally. And again, I agree with Teddy saying it's kind of too late, but maybe next week we're gonna start getting to the.
Get to it. Come on, let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Let's get to the meat
I'm
and the potato.
I'm eating appetizers. Okay, we got the pot stick. We got the boneless.
Okay. I've had the calamari appetizer. Baby, give me the
Okay.
main course. Okay.
I'm ready for my damn order now. I'm ready for my
All
burger.
right, I'm with you.
All right. Well, I think this is.
Excuse
I
me.
mean, it's nothing else to talk about because it really was a short episode. I
That's
thought
really all we got. Yeah.
it's really all we got.
I got none.
Last thoughts on it, if you want to.
Last thoughts? No.
No.
I got all my thoughts.
Got all. Yeah.
What else? You got some thoughts?
Hashtag Lawrence Hive. That's all I got.
Not the Lawrence Hive.
I just want to say. Someone just said. I just want to say I don't like cornbread stuffing. I don't. Well, yeah, I don't
Hey,
either.
Tracy.
I love cornbread stuffing. Y'all better don't do.
I like regular stuffing.
I don't do stuffing. I do dressing. Let's be clear.
I know that's right.
There he go.
Well, I mean, yes, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. So what is? I mean, I guess we can end the story off on that. Like, what's going on with our Thanksgivings? Is everybody cooking and preparing and all that?
I'm gonna cook a little bit tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna be cooking cabbage. I think I might. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna cook it tonight or get up early in the morning. Not early, but in the morning and cook it. But I'll be making my famous cabbage. My family loves my cabbage.
I know that's right. I'm actually cooking some sauteed spinach.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm doing my greens in the morning.
He said, y'all gonna get this good sauteed spinach.
Okay.
I'll be washing my greens in the morning. Let's be clear.
I'm not a collard greens fan. It's not that I think it's bad. I think it doesn't have an attractive taste to me. I like spinach better.
Yeah.
So I told my mom,
I like all greens. I don't like beans. I don't like any kind of beans. I don't like string beans, pinto beans, navy beans. I don't like beans.
Yeah, my mom's making string beans. I'm like, okay.
But I love all kinds of greens. I love spinach, kale, cabbage, broccoli. Like, I love the greens.
How y'all doing the gobble gobble? Y'all frying it? Y'all baking it? What's going on?
We do both.
I don't want
fried turkey and a regular turkey.
So I just want the smoked turkey legs. So I got the big smoked turkey legs. That's all I want because that's the good part to me.
Yeah. My dad fries a turkey. My mom. Well, I think this year we're only going to do one turkey, but when we use because we're still not doing the big family thing. We're still kind of doing our own silo. So it's just myself, my mom, dad, sister, her husband, and my niece and my nephew. So it's just us.
Okay.
So when we do the big
coming down.
Yeah, Niecy will be here. I don't know if I don't know if she's coming today or tomorrow, child. But I wish she had been here because she loves Insecure, and she did my reviews with me last year with my Insecure reviews. I'm gonna ask her how she's feeling about this season. We haven't talked about it. I'm gonna ask her how she's feeling about this season. I'm gonna get her thoughts.
All right. That's looking good. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving.
You too, as well, sir.
You already know. Maybe she can come to next week it'll be on yours. Really big.
Yeah.
So we'll be over there.
I'll see if she can. She's busy, child, booked and busy.
Hope all the viewers have a great Thanksgiving and a lovely Black Friday. I don't know. I think I might be going out and shopping for stuff.
Child, my Black Friday gonna be right in front of this computer screen.
Whatever
Click,
this,
carts, buy.
Right.
Click, cart,
whatever
buy.
this paycheck is giving, we'll see.
Right.
Also on Friday, just for my listeners that are on YouTube or probably watching the replay, because that's what y'all do. Y'all love watching the replay. Y'all never hear on live. I will be doing my final episode for the year for the Darren Green Show, just to give updates and a little bit of hot topics. I stopped because school and stuff, and it's really I need to focus on graduating. So I need to get the fuck out of here before I can go back to this podcast. But I'll give you guys an update on Friday. We're gonna have to get into some things with the hot topics, because you already know it's already stuff brewing. And until next time, I am your host Darren Green, and this is the TDGS Live Panel. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.